March board meeting. If you could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I want to welcome once again. Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Prosser? Here. Ball?
Yes.
Sewell? Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
I'm here, so we're starting with public comments. Feel free to step to the podium and you'll have up to 5 minutes.
Hi, my name's Jeanine Lomax, and I live here in Collinsville, pay taxes here in Collinsville Township. So I've been following the issue with the assessor's office pretty closely. And last election cycle, Pete Paletti was sold to the public as the most experienced and the most knowledgeable candidate, and he won election on this premise. I've spoken with a couple of his constituents on their experiences of coming into the assessor's office here recently. First one I spoke to, took him 4 visits to actually get Pete in the office. And after, I'm not sure what business was conducted there, but she went on to tell me that he spent about 15 minutes talking to her about the political atmosphere going on surrounding the assessor's office. I feel like that is very unprofessional, and she's not the first one that I've heard this from. So the second constituent of his, so the first one took 4 visits to get him there. Second one took him 2 visits to get him there, and was going to have a senior freeze. Goes up there every year to have their senior freeze done. Usually just hands them the information, they fill it out for him. So he did that with Pete. Handed him the information to have Pete fill it out for him, and Pete told him that he did not know how to fill it out. That usually the girls do it, and that he did not know how to do it. That is very troubling that we have an assessor who is sold to the public as the most experienced and the most knowledgeable, that 48 years on the job, this is probably the most requested thing to have the assessor's office fill out, is the senior freeze, and he doesn't know how to do it. That's very troubling. I'm very troubled by the fact that we're paying him almost we're paying him about $60,000. And that doesn't even come out of the $383,000 budget that was exhausted 3 months before the fiscal year ended, which in turn, the laying off of his employees. So that is very troubling that we have an assessor that does not know how to do this basic business of the assessor's office. So I also found out that there was an employee, I've heard that there is an employee that has not been to work in over 2 years. So I did a FOIA, and I requested, in this FOIA I requested the hire date, the yearly pay from the hire date, salary, hourly pay, their benefits, physical attendance in the office for the last 2 years, and all the business or work-related emails over the past 2 years. So I received a FOIA back, a response to my FOIA. It took 10 days instead of 5, whatever, that's okay. So the employee was hired in the year 2000 and retired at the end of February. So I received, I had asked for the yearly pay from the, when this employee started. I got from 2018 to 2026, so I'm missing 17 years. So we need to rectify that. The township maintains no record of physical attendance at the assessor's office, so this employee has not been physically in the office for 2 years, probably 2+ years. I asked for 2 years. I had asked for any work-related emails over the last 2 years. And the request to this employee was regarding the use of personal email for business. That's not what I asked for. I didn't ask if you were using your personal email to conduct business. I'm asking for any work-related emails, because if you're not physically in the office and you are not, corresponding through emails, what are you doing to comply with working? And this employee is
About 30 seconds.
making almost $62,000 a year. This is very troubling. This is very troubling for a taxpayer. I also want to address a couple of the comments made by a couple of the trustees at the last meeting. Trustee Prosser, you said that we could taxpayers could possibly cut back on some of our maybe frivolous spending. You said there were things that we probably all spend money on that we could probably cut back.
About 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's troubling to me, because were you suggesting that we should cut back on that so that we have more money to pay more taxes to the government, to the township? I don't know, we can have a conversation about that. So,
Thank you,
thank you
Jean.
very much.
All right.
I am gonna hand out something to you guys. It's a little story that I hope that you take to heart. It's called "It's Not Yours to Give." It's a story of Davy Crockett.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, who's next?
Okay, I'm Paul Nicolucci. I'm a Collinsville resident. Here to talk about FOIAs. I sent a FOIA out about 4 months ago, time frame give or take. I never sent out a FOIA in my life before. I don't really like to bog down government officials and governing bodies with FOIAs. I can usually just call and get my response. But last election cycle, it just got off the rails with crazy far-fetched allegations by 2 ex-trustees, various agitators online. It really painted a pretty bad example of the Collinsville Township and our town itself. It's just untrue. So I just want to get to the bottom of it. Like, where was this information coming? Are there employees helping? Are there elected officials helping pass this garbage along? That's what it was for. I haven't received it yet. I know Clerk Aukenbach, I really apologize that you've had to go through so much, that you're kind of caught in the middle of something with all these FOIAs, but I thought maybe my FOIA would help put an end to it and kind of shed some light on the situations here. So that's all I gotta say on that. I know Jim is, we're getting is resigning, so hopefully as soon as new FOIA officers come and, the IT situation gets better, that my FOIA can be answered and we can know who's starting a lot of this trouble and who's helping them. And Jim, you had a great career in public service. I honestly wish you weren't quitting as clerk, but I mean, you have to do what you have to do. I just think everybody should give Mr. Aukenbach a round of applause. You have worked as an elected official for the most part without pay. You just give them your time because you like to give back to your community. And I think we all respect that. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Paul. Anybody else? Going once, twice? So, okay. Response to public comment. I'll piggyback off of what Jeannie said. I've received a couple calls from people I've never met, never talked to, don't even know who they are, and said that they wanted to tell me that they came in to the assessor's office and they weren't there. And then I guess they called and they picked up the phone, Mr. Paletti did, and he was kind of surprised. He says, I need help with my homestead, or I think it was some kind of freeze. And he went on and he told me for 18 minutes about me. And he's like, why? And he tried to cut him off and say, hey, I'm just trying to figure out my paperwork here. And went on and on. And the guy was so upset about it that I don't know if he's here. I've never met him, but he said he's going to be coming to the meetings. He's you know, he just thought it was really unprofessional. And I apologized to him, and he said, I asked him what he needed, and it was a freeze, and he said he was going up to the county to get it taken care of, and I said, I'm sure that they can help, but call me back if you can. So, I'm kind of baffled as well. I've been asking these questions. I don't understand why some in the public get angry at me and the board when this has been going on. We've been asking for this. I have for, let's see, how long have I been here? 6, 7 years, since I first started as trustee, saying, hey, I'm here to try to save taxpayers money. That is the number one reason that I got into this, because we all see a lot of waste around. Every single municipal government has it, and you have to have a backbone to stand up and say, listen, this isn't our money, this is your money. And so that's not easy to do. You're going to get a lot of pushback, and that's what this board has gotten, a lot of pushback and hate. And all we simply did was say, hey, here's your budget. It's still 2 times higher than Edwardsville, and all you have to do, it was mentioned, there's an employee that hasn't been at work for years. Can she retire? No, I'm going to fight you. And took us to court, not once, but twice. It cost us money to defend you, the taxpayers. We won. It is over. I am ready to move forward. I have reached out through Don, and Don, you can talk to Don and attest to this, trying to get a relationship going that didn't quite work out. But I will say today that Pete did come into my office. It was about 11:30 or so, and said he wasn't going to make it tonight, and he said he wasn't feeling good, and I said, I hope you feel better. And I said, we're not going to be passing the budget tonight, but we're going to discuss it some. But I told you that number, and I hope you can live with that. And he said, we'll see. And I said, well, I hope so. And so that's where it left, but it wasn't a shouting match or anything like that. So maybe things will get better. So that's all I have on the public comment, and then we'll talk about your resignation. Anybody else got any response to the public comments? Okay, all right. Moving on to, sorry, I didn't see it, sorry.
So on the public comment, I wasn't here last month, so I don't know what, it might have been a month before, 2 months that she had asked. So I didn't understand exactly what she was asking, or about the savings of the money or something is what you're asking?
You said that we all can spend money frivolously, which is true. Buy a cup of coffee out, go to
Right.
Starbucks, buy a cup of coffee, and that maybe people could taper back on that. So my take from that was taper back on that to what?
Oh, so
Have more money to pay in taxes?
No. What I meant by that is that, you know, we are trying to save, there was $150,000, that's what the 29% was. So what I'm looking at, or what I'm trying to say is, we are doing a lot, and I was gonna get this later, but I'll explain it now. We're doing a lot, and I understand, I'm all about saving money and lowering the taxes. But what I'm getting at is, we're trying to do this, and I know it needs to be lowered, but maybe not doing, we did 29%, maybe we could have done 12% this year, 12% next year, and still got to where we need to. So we're lowering taxes still, and just not a big lump sum, because I looked at, and the reason why I voted no on this earlier, back in June, was you gotta look as us, at least for me as a trustee, I have no problems lowering taxes and saving money. I wanna do that, but is it more positive or is it gonna be more negative? And I just look at it, this is me personally, there's been a lot of negative on this that's happened. Not saying Pete is right at all, I think that his budget could be lowered, but maybe we just should have, and I just got on the board that night of June, and all I'm saying is when it comes to money, we're saving $3 or $9 a year is what we're trying for, but now we have lawyer fees, we have people laid off, we have unemployment, we have, of course, which you just brought up, we have less service, because Pete's just up there by himself. So that's all I was trying to say is, I have no problems. We're here, all of us, I think, here to be able to lower taxes, but it was a chunk that we knew was gonna cause problems. And is that really saving the taxpayers the money that we're really looking to save? Is there another way or another route we could have maybe took, and still lower that? So that's basically what I was trying to say.
And can I, because there were some things in there that, I respect your opinion, I respect your vote, and I've already told you guys that, and everybody, and that's what I want, everything moving forward, and I wish all society was like that. We can have differences on policy and differences on your view on taxes, no problem with that whatsoever. But we need to, when we debate it, debate with facts and not feelings. On the 29%, that's not an accurate figure, because if, let's just say, he says, well, I want $1 million. Well, then it'd be a lot more than 29%. He's saying it's 29% from what he wanted. That's just a number that he threw out. I've been saying since day one, 7 years ago, Pete, come on, work with me here, work with me here. Now, then to your point, yeah, and I've always said, year one, we might not save a whole lot, but guess what? Every single year moving forward, you're gonna be saving. It had to be done. It's just like when something, and so it's not easy. And so I think that we're not asking for a pat on the back or anything, but for what we get put through, that's not fair either, So anyway, and he wouldn't have had to lay off anybody. That's not our call. That's not the board's call. So,
I would like to add to
yeah.
that. Every time that we talk to Pete about this, he threatened to sue. And it is my understanding that over the years, way back, every time any board, way before us, said, Pete, how can you manage differently? How can you reduce that budget? He said, if you take my money away, I'm gonna sue you.
I know.
And so it just had to come to a point to where,
Yeah,
right.
right, and we both came in at June when we had to make that decision, both of us was our first night. And so, like I said, and you can go back and look at June's thing, and again, I'm not saying that Pete should keep the money where it needs to be. You have lowered yours, Kathy has
Yes.
lowered hers, everybody's done it. I just, again, it's just a point of sometimes, and just down the road, maybe think outside the box, and I, whatever the number it is, and the percentage, yes, it could be lowered. We all could lower and get it, lower taxes to help everybody out. We just knew that, or at least I felt, and my concerns were that amount of money at that time was going to be layoffs, was going to be less service and all that, which is what happened. We knew that. So that's all I'm trying to make my point across.
Okay, yeah, you're fine.
So Pete, in the beginning, he knew that from the very first, when we gave him the budget.
Oh, yeah.
He knew how to manage his office and how to cut corners like we all have. I think I had some constituents ask me in regard to what you had said, and then the people that get on the Collinsville Township, and they make all their things, you were the numbers, you said I'd look over the numbers, and they applauded you and everything, and then I had to get some constituents say, and they couldn't remember if you said $6 burger or a $12 hobby that we all could just throw away, and they said, we can't eat because we can't pay our taxes, we're losing our homes. And then I went to Madison County and to look, and the people that they're losing their homes to taxes, it's incredible. And there are people that are waiting to pick those up so they can make a business out of them. So it was,
And I get it, I'm
Yeah.
not,
that's
I'm-
what Jeannie's.
Okay, and I understand it, but what I'm getting at is, I, again, don't mind lowering taxes, we all pay high taxes, very high.
Yeah.
And we can only do so much as this board, as Kathy and you, we have two levies. If you look at all the taxes, again, I've said this before, we're probably at the wrong meeting of where.
Correct, yes,
where,
I've been saying
and
that forever.
I'm just, and again.
201 West Clay.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, so again, I am, to let everybody know, no matter what, I am here for lowering taxes. I'm just looking at again, we all have our own things to do, and I get it. Everybody's on a tight budget. Some people can't afford to do anything. What I was trying to get at is we're going through this, and in the long run, there's a need to be done, but there's a long run, there's a lot of stuff that we have a lot of negativity, that's happened through this. And once now we are all for here for 3 years, maybe we can, when it comes to that, figure out a better way to look.
And actually, it's on our agenda, so we got some of the conversation out, but that's great. And we'll continue this budget conversation.
4 years ago, didn't you ask Pete for one salary? Let's reduce your spending
Yes,
by
one.
one salary.
Just one.
And he did how long? A year.
He did it for 1 year.
1 year, and then went right back up. We tried the piecemeal thing. It got nowhere.
And that was another point that people who contacted us said, well, the man's budget for him alone is 60,000, his paycheck. And they were shocked to understand that his does not come out of that. It comes out of the budget that Derek puts together. All that money goes straight to his office.
And again, it is, I think you were talking to me about it, and we can talk about that, but each office holder, okay, is responsible for their office, okay? So I can't tell Kathy how to run the roads department. I can't tell Pete how to run his department. These trustees and the board can't tell me how to run my department. We're in charge of the budgets and the levies, and then those supervisors are in charge of their departments. So if my department, if everybody's sick that day, I've got to run my department because my staff is sick. That's what I say when I say there's nobody there. It's not that he's not there for decades. It is literally, if there's nobody there, that office has to be open. That's your all's office. And it still boggles my mind how that is okay with some people. That office, he says, no, I'm only gonna be open from 8 to 11:30 some days. How is that right? A full paycheck, 48 years, full IMRF benefits. I don't get those benefits, okay? Yeah, I do not. So, anyway, I don't think it's right, and I wish that he would change. So, let's move on to, there's nothing under old business, but I do want to bring this up because it was brought up at the last meeting, and there's a lot of stuff out there. I think I always try to, in my mind, do I just ignore it and let the fake, false stuff be out there and linger, and everywhere I go in town, people say, well, what about that? I'm like, well, that's not true. It's misinformation. Or do you try to address it? I try to address it, not on social media, but at these meetings. But this is a very serious accusation about unemployment, that the unemployment insurance wasn't right, and the employees that Pete laid off were not getting unemployment. All right, that was made at that podium right there. Then I got a letter saying that they hadn't been paid for the work that they were doing. This is absolutely 100% false. Our office manager, I asked him to give me a report of what happened. He's given me that report, and I will just summarize, and if anything's wrong, Don, I want you to tell me. But in summary, in 2018, the township decided not because if you're a government entity, you can just pay as, it's called reimbursable accounts. So if you lay off an employee, you can just pay their unemployment there because government bodies don't pay taxes. So if you're a business, you pay taxes into unemployment insurance. So in 2018, well before me, well before Don, the decision was made here at the Collinsville Township to do that. Okay, so then when Pete laid off his employees, we had to quickly set up these accounts. And so that's what Don worked his butt off on for a week. Luckily, there was a 2-week lag in from when they got paid until when the next paycheck was due. In that 2 weeks, he got everything set up, everything, so it's all here, and I don't want to bore people with it, but now our payroll is basically dealing with all this stuff in the back end. But we'll have to make a decision. Do we want to go back to reimbursable accounts, or do we just want to pay as we go? And that might be a question that we can ask the board or whatnot, but that's where we're at. Nobody, Don, did anybody ever miss a paycheck while they were working?
Paycheck, no, sir.
No. Anybody ever miss unemployment that you know of if they filed? Or what have you been told about that?
I haven't, I've only spoken to one person.
Well, the main person at the IDES, right?
Yes.
That says all the funds are there. So I can't say if an employee filed or not.
Well, I have a document that says that the funds were submitted.
Okay.
And there were some issues about the account that Kathy and Jen and I have, that's taken care of as well. We now have a grant, that account has been reopened as a taxable account.
Correct.
And, so going forward, we're ready.
Yeah. So the stuff out there that it's a big, mess, and there's no mess. No mess. Okay? So any questions from the board on that? Any worries on that? Okay. Moving on to new business, approval of the agenda for the April 14th annual town meeting. We hadn't received anything, but there was something that came in late. I guess it went to a wrong email or something, and I'll let our attorney explain that, because I think it's best that it's explained.
Yeah, basically for the annual meetings, the electors can submit from a list of a handful of things. They can basically petition to have something put on the agenda. Most of the items that can be submitted by electors to be voted on at annual meetings are things that are like essential services, public utilities, that type of thing. They're generally not policy type questions or organizational things, but I guess something came in and it went to an email that Jim doesn't use, that, right, it's an old email or something. And it was submitted on time, but it wasn't in the right format. You have to have 15 electors, which are
Signatures.
Registered voters who live in the township. This was just a list of 10 names on an email saying we'd like to have these things on there. It's got to be submitted as a petition with actual signatures. So the formatting and everything of it was not done right. And then the things that were asked for were like policy-related things that aren't really within the powers that are granted to the electors.
To make this into a homeless shelter, one of them was, right?
I think there was something about owls on one. There were 7 things, and I think only one thing was actually something that might have fit into one of the categories. Because generally, the idea behind it is that, if you need hospital services, schools, there's provisions in there for taking care of cemeteries, things like that. It's generally not, policy-related things or anything further than that.
So we're safe in voting on the agenda put in front.
So basically what came in wasn't in the right format. Even if it was, odds are the vast majority of things asked for on it wouldn't even been eligible to go on the agenda anyway. So the agenda as we've got, which includes nothing from any electors, is what we're going forward with.
Okay.
Motion to approve the agenda.
All right. All right, roll call.
Trustee Prosser?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Sewell? Yes. Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. All right, next item is item B. It's approval of the resolution 2026-R03 in support of the PEP grant application for $29,151 to complete the payoff of the loan used to construct the CSC parking lot. I want to give you guys all a little bit of a background. Some of you might be familiar, some of you this might be new. But can't remember the year. Jim, you might know. But there was a thing called CARD in Collinsville Area Recreational District. It was an absolute mess. It was mismanaged and a lot of money went missing. Anyway, if you lived in Maryville, which I do, we would pay taxes, and on my tax bill it was like $400, and the money went to CARD, and all the parks and the CARD assets were all in Collinsville. So as a Maryville resident, I didn't feel that was fair. And so myself and a group of people, but we walked, I think Jeannie, you were on that group. Brad, I know you were on that group. We walked
on the
all
board.
summer long. And we got over right at 8,000 signatures, okay? Just to get it on the ballot. You had to have 25% just to get it on the ballot. It was a big task. And one of the reasons, and so we got it on the ballot, it passed with over 80%. Then what happened is it stands for Park Enhancement Project money. So instead of that money going to CARD, that money then goes to the city of Collinsville for their parks, the village of Maryville for their parks, and the township, okay? We don't own any parks, but we have a recreational facility. I fought hard and made sure that that was included. And so every year, so then I wanted that parking lot, okay? Well, guess what? Because I wanted it, oh, that was a big deal. We can't have the parking lot. So the grant money was turned down. Until I became supervisor, we accepted the grant money, we took a loan, and we bought that parking lot. 0 interest. We paid for that parking lot out there in the senior center now with that PEP grant money. It was a great investment. The seniors had nowhere to park. There wasn't many people coming in here, and because of that parking lot and because of the work that all of us did walking, now we have a center that is alive, people can park, and we got money now back to our township that would have necessarily been up at Madison County, and so it's a great thing, and it is all paid off now, if you guys vote to approve this.
Can I motion that we approve resolution number 2026-R03? Or do we need to talk about it first?
Well, you can motion in a second, then you can talk about it. Okay, any discussion? Any questions?
No.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yeah.
Crowell?
Yes,
Crosser?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Now it even gets even better. Approval of Resolution 2026-R04 in support of PEP grant application for $30,000, 069, to be used for construction of a community garden. So, this should make a lot of you guys happy, hopefully, all right? So, when I was talking to the county and submitting all this paperwork, I found out that the county had some extra, it's a sales tax that I am not a part of. Again, that's money that I'm trying to get back for us, okay? They said, well, you got extra money this year. I go, well, how much? $30,000. So I said, well, how long do I have until I can apply? Well, it has to be in by March 13th, which is Friday. So I have to get, and I've been working 3 bids. I've got 3 bids. I've been working with the city to get their support, putting it all together. I know, Margot, you've been working on this. Mike, you've had some meetings. And so I'm putting all the paperwork together. I got to get it in by Friday. This is part of it. Just have the board say, yeah, we want the money. Because again, the old board said, no, we don't want the money. So I think it's a good project. It's going to be right over here, and I think it'll make, I'm trying, as if you follow the meeting, I'm trying to make this end of town look better. All right, this is money. If we don't take it, we lose it. And so I got to get the money first, then as a board, we can put the bids together, and we can move, hopefully get it done this summer. Okay? Any questions?
I motion that we accept resolution number 2026-R04.
All right.
and I'll second it.
Roll call.
Trustee Sewell?
Yeah.
Crowell?
Yes,
Crosser?
Yes.
Ball?
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, next item is discussion of our budget. Just to make it clear, I've been talking with Kathy, and for folks that don't know, and it is confusing, our fiscal year starts on April 1st and goes till March 31st. So same thing with the assessors, like, well, how did all of a sudden does he have money on April the 1st to bring his employees back? That's when his fiscal year begins, and he is allocated, he knows he's gonna be allocated some money so he can bring some people back. That's why I'm trying to work with him to say, here's kind of a baseline of what we're talking about, okay? And so it's not that there's not money there, it is just that that's the budget, because it's not our money, it's your money. So this board, that's why you elect us, we have to say, each department, here's how much money you have to spend for the year. If every town didn't have that, then each official could just go out and spend ever how much they want. That's the point I've been making. And have free reign, because this board's never said, hey, slow down here. So that's the discussion we're having. The problem is, because our year doesn't end March 31st, it's always hard to know, well, especially for me, on my budget, there's 10,000 numbers from the year before. So you don't really know where that number's gonna land until you get the number on March 31st, okay? But we have to have 30 days to you, the public, to put it out to vote on it. I'm trying to get this passed as quick as I can. So there's a couple different options I can do, and I'm just kind of wanting your guys' opinion, okay? One, I could put out a budget that's not necessarily probably what we're gonna pass. It's gonna be a little wonky, it's not gonna be quite exact, okay? But higher, well, it's just the numbers aren't gonna be exact, because I don't know, I'm gonna be estimating on where we're gonna end for the year. Because there's numbers from last year, and then there's numbers for the next year, right? And so, yeah, here, I'll show you real quick. So, see, it says actual, 24, 25 actual. I won't know those actual numbers until the year ends, but I can't wait till March 31st to hand it in.
Right.
That's why it's always been passed in June. And last time, this board wasn't even seated until June, so we had to wait till June. But the law says you have to pass it by July 1st, basically, right?
You have to have it in by the end of June.
End of June, yeah. So, anyway, my point is, I'm wanting to move it up, but you can only move it up so far.
Yeah, like 5% without.
Right, so my point is, and Jim, you might be able to weigh in there. What do you feel? Should I put something out that's not quite exact, and just know that we're going to debate it and talk about it at the meeting and then pass it at the next meeting? Or do you want something that you feel is exact, that then but then you have to wait longer?
We don't know what exact is. We will never.
And
Until it's too late.
And the thing is, we've changed it at
Yeah,
meetings
but-
beforehand, at the meeting.
Well, could we, if you do it soon, and then we know after March 31st, let's say your numbers are either high or low, in between there, and then after March 31st, you'll have the actual numbers.
Absolutely.
Then we can just say, we need to go
I see what
one
you're saying.
side or the other, you know.
Gotcha, right, because the reason I'm saying this is, and this is more of a clerk's thing, you have to have it out 30 days before you vote. Our meeting is on April 14th, it's the second Tuesday, that's our next meeting, okay? April 14th. So that's why I said Friday's March 13th. Even if I put last year's budget out there, here's my proposal. You know, you put it out there, that's legal to do, but then when we come together, we say,
You'll have the actual facts. because
yes, and I could even have it by March 30th, 15
And that
days.
goes for Kathy's side then of it too, is what you're saying.
I don't wanna speak for Kathy, because, Kathy said she was going to try, but she's not sure that she can have that done. And that's okay, and we can pass them in 2 different times. We can pass the roads in May. My biggest thing is that Pete understands what the number is,
Where he needs to be.
so he knows how many people he's bringing back and all that good stuff. If that makes sense. That's why I wanna do it earlier.
That's fine.
Other discussion on that, I am working very hard on having a balanced budget, meaning we don't spend more than we bring in, okay? I love how people say, oh, revenue, like it's a nice thing.
Right.
Okay, that's taxes, that's your taxes, all right? What I'm trying to show though is we have been lowering our tax levy down, okay? And we have income from interest, we have income from grants, and we add all that in. But when you're doing a budget, if you can't make it so tight where it's like there is no room to move. But I like to make it tight, because then there is no room to move and you gotta make decisions. where you say, well, no, we can't do that, because that's how regular people have to live. You know, so I'm asking this board, because I really would like to get all y'all's vote this time. Even though we can do it, I want y'all's vote. I want this board to be together. What I'm saying is, because Clint, I know this has been a big thing for you, is a balanced budget, and I appreciate that.
Not only balanced, but you need to give us more than 2 days to look at it, so, yeah, I appreciate.
Well, you always have, right, I mean, we've always done that, right?
Yeah, 30 days, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Have we, burned down the surpluses that we inherited?
Okay, so let me explain that, because there's a lot of misinformation about that, okay?
Misunderstanding.
Well, it gets out there and then it confuses anybody that reads it. There's a law in Illinois that says you cannot hold over 2.5 times of what you spend in an average of 3 years, okay? Before I was here and I was trustee, and I remember that meeting, and it was like, boom, it was like a bombshell went off. I go, you guys got $200,000 too much money in this account. You got $300,000 too much in this account. They had been taxing way too much, sometimes 11 years of surplus. We were in violation of Illinois law when I took over. So there's only 2 ways to remedy it. One way is send everybody a check, and I actually fought for that, and everybody thought I was crazy. But I thought that's your money, or you can just levy 0. So many times, this has been the problem. We've levied 0, so it shows less money coming in, revenue, less money coming in, but in reality, we have to do that because we have too much money in our bank account to hold. It's not our money to hold. You should hold on to it yourself, all right? So that's where we were at. So it's not spending down the reserves. And we have over 2.5 years. We still have, overall, we have about a year's reserve right now, okay? And I'll show you here in a second that we actually have more money now than we did last year. And we've gotten more accomplished. So that's an answer to that, because it's never been, we haven't been able to have an actual balanced budget because we're not able to tax.
So eventually though, since we've been 0 on the levies.
Yes,
Eventually, as that money's gonna go down, we're gonna have to start raising the.
and I have. You know, I have in certain accounts that I've started to, insurance was one, general assistance was one, and I
Because
have.
the cost of living
Yeah.
keeps going.
A day of reckoning is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanna build as much of a buffer so that it's not all hit 1 year and
That's where levy
we have,
management
I don't
comes
wanna
into
have to
play.
go for a
Right.
referendum.
But I mean,
get the spending.
where I'm kind of getting at, their tone, Clint, I'm kind of taking that you're saying that we levied way too less?
I think there's other areas that we have looked at, and we should have levied some more in certain areas, yes.
In certain areas, I see what he's saying.
Well, I don't know, that's why I don't.
Well, when we had the discussion last year, well, 2 years ago, we actually had an open discussion about it,
Mhm.
and we came to agreement, and we made
And
some
we levied it,
changes.
yeah, we levied it a little.
Yeah, I
higher,
had some
right.
same concerns on the last one, but it was election season, so there wasn't gonna be any increases in those areas, so, yeah, I'll just
Right.
have to make sure.
Yeah, so anyway, the levy is out there, what we levy, okay? And I'm very proud of the levy, and I don't actually think that we'll have to raise the levy next year or the year after. That's the way I am. So just so everybody knows, and we are the only municipality, we have lowered the town side of the tax levy by, it's like around 20%, okay? So you can be mad about that, but I think there's a bigger majority that's probably not mad about that. So, you can't always make everybody happy.
So when you're levying, where are your concerns at, that we're not levying enough,
If you do the analyzing of the individual accounts,
right?
you can see what the 2-year spend average has been,
Uh-huh.
and so we've made individual modifications. And I had pointed out some the last go around, but we didn't address them as a board.
Okay, I just wondered if you had anything specific, that would be great to know.
I can share my analysis with you on the last couple, but. I mean,
Yeah, and so what we'll do is, and just so everybody knows, there's only really, what is it, that, 3 levies altogether, the town, road, general assistance, and, yeah, I think there's not many, because you can take one from the other,
There's
and
only
general
two.
assistance.
There's only two everything.
Yeah, there's only two.
Either in the town or in
Yeah.
road and bridge.
But within
Two
that,
levies, right? Because that's what we discussed.
But there are
Separate,
Sub-
right, because general assistance is definitely
Sub-accounts.
sub-account. Point is that it's extremely difficult, but I'm going to try my very best to get it as close to what our income is to what we're spending, all right? And I guess what I was just trying to gauge from this board is how strict do you want me to be? Because I can be, like, if Clint's gonna say, nope, I'm not voting on it because we didn't levy enough in this account, and if we only levied $49,000, that's all we're budgeting for, is $49,000. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm kinda just wanting to gauge what you want me to do, because I can do that.
no, I want you to put your best effort into what we think it's gonna be. I mean,
And keep it safe.
yeah,
That's the main thing.
and that's what you do in
Yeah.
everyday business, so.
Right.
Well, but no, but not in every day. I mean, if you did that as your regular person, you would be broke. If you budgeted more than you brought in, you'd be broke.
Yeah.
And so I don't wanna do that, but I know what we all know what we're saying, but,
You have a savings account, right? Just like we have a surplus.
yeah.
So-
Yeah. Mhm. So,
And that was something that concerned me too, just like with Kathy, and the, expenses that hit us, like the gas prices or things like that, that we're prepared for those things.
Correct.
Just like, we don't have the water issue that the city had, however, bam, they were hit with a huge, and instead of having small increases and then, or, then people are hit with a huge expense at once.
And another fact too is, whatever we approve, we can always amend if necessary in some emergency
yeah, emergency.
cir-
case, right.
circumstance or some extreme
Yeah.
circumstance, so.
Yeah. And again, I just wanna make sure that everybody knows that, because it's been out there that we're just picking on the assessor's office. It's not true. My office took the largest amount of decrease last year. Kathy took a decrease. I didn't have to lay off anybody. Kathy didn't have to lay off anybody, so maybe we'll look at other offices too.
Well,
You
that's something that I had talked to you about, and you were open to it. But I really do think that, as trustees, we audit these department bills, and it's not just that we just audit. We need to know, we need to look at the spendings, and are they justifiable? And just like with Pete's office, we went in, reviewed closely, who was at work, who got PTOs, who got sick pay, who was coming in and out of the doors, the cars weren't there. Was that because they were at school, or were they out doing an assessment? We really looked into his budget before we said no more money, we weren't just being cruel. And, so that's something that I think we should look at you. I mean, we should look at your, as a supervisor. I think maybe Kathy and I talked before, she was more than happy to make an appointment, and I think Clint, you said that you spent some time with Kathy? Or one of you spent some time?
I went down to
You
talk
went
to
down?
Kathy.
And no, so I absolutely, if you wanna tell me a day that you'd like to come in and see what my office staff does, see what the senior center does, and that's for everybody. I absolutely welcome that.
Yeah.
Kathy emails us. I get copies of the bills that she pays.
Right.
All right? Pete does not provide us with any of that
No.
information. I have no idea what he's spending money on.
There was a new office manager, and I thought that the guidelines were being, or the budgets were being produced much better than they had been
Sure.
before.
I think
Because
Yeah,
before
sure.
it was almost like an elementary list.
No, I think
Um,
Cheryl's been doing a lot better job as far as explaining and breaking it down.
Yes, yes.
So if they keep doing that, that
Yes.
helps us out.
And Kathy is extremely thorough. It's just, it's nice to know where, where the money's going and kind of get a feel, for
Kathy
those
is
things.
extremely transparent.
Transparent, that's how we're hearing that.
So yeah, just get with me, and anybody that wants to come in and look at anything, and just what everybody does, and if there's ways to save, there's ways to save. And that's just how it is. And I'm all for that.
So your goal is to have the proposed budget to us soon?
Yes,
Or
I mean,
by next meeting, or what?
I mean, just so you know, Clint, I actually I've been working on this,
Okay.
but our old accountant, he left us with, no, PDF files. Clint knows it, or Jim knows this.
Not
And-
edible.
Right, and so I'm literally having to go through here and do it all, and then looking at audits and guessing what the numbers are, working on that. I will get it. It's just, I'm waiting for the end of the fiscal year, but you'll have it at least 15 days beforehand to look at it. And so there's probably not gonna be a whole lot of changes from last year. And if you look at the levy, you'll get a good guesstimate of it.
So,
Go
to
ahead.
make this clear, you're gonna try to have this ready though before, April?
Yeah, I would,
For discussion.
For discussion.
no, I would like to vote on it at the April meeting. Now, we don't have to vote on it, say we tabled it. I mean, I don't know, but what I'm saying is that, so Pete would know, this is
Well, it
the
has to be
budget.
posted tomorrow. You got
No,
something
the
to post?
13th. Our meeting's the 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So you're thinking you
Friday,
can get
2
it?
days, 2 days instead of
So in
1
2
day.
days, you can try to get this done, because we gotta have 30 days,
correct.
right? And then we can actually do it from there. So if you
Correct.
can get that done in 2 days,
But what I'm trying to say is that I'm going to, that's why I was asking you in the beginning. I'm gonna get you the best I can in 2 days. Then, in the next 14 days, I'm going to tweak it some. Then do we put that out there too, or just wait? I'll give it to you guys, of course.
I guess we could, I mean, we have to have a budget hearing, so.
Right.
What would happen if we try to pass this in April, what would happen is, we have the annual town meeting,
Yeah, why wouldn't
It
we just
starts
try
at
and
6
pass it in
o'clock.
May?
so then we would have, after the annual town meeting ended, which is the way I've got it written up now, is, after the annual town meeting ended, we would then go into the budget hearing meeting. After the budget hearing meeting ended, then we would then go into the regular meeting. Normally, if we did it in May or June, we would just have the budget hearing.
Let me see what I can do.
At 6:30.
Let me just see what I can do in the next 2 days. If I can get it real good, and if I can't, we'll do it in May. I'll do my best, all right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on, acceptance of the resignation of our Collinsville Township clerk.
No.
And you got the letter there, and
So I intend to stay till like a week and a half after the town meeting, so to get us through that. As you know, when we adopted new township bylaws back in 2021, we changed them so that you can't just replace an elected official at the same meeting, which has been ongoing. So this way it allows anybody in the public who might be interested in having this job, because the great thing
Yes.
about the job is it does pay. And as somebody who's been an elected official for 18 years, I never had many jobs as an elected official that actually paid. My job pays 13,700, something like that.
Just over 1,000.
A little over $1,000.
And is it a part-time job or a full-time?
that is.
It's a job of an elected official, just like everybody's saying at the table.
You show up when you
Right.
think you got something.
And to be honest, I do most
To
of
do the job, to get the job
I do a
done.
good portion of my work from home because I have a laptop and I
Yeah.
do most of it. But, you know, I will simply say this, I really don't want to make too many comments. I mean, because there's enough drama in this township right now, I don't need to add to that.
You're
But
gonna
I-
be missed.
I've been an elected official for 18 years, and I will tell you that the past 15 months have been the hardest job I've ever had as an elected official. And as somebody who's gonna be 70 years old this year, I'm ready to spend time on myself and things
Right.
that I enjoy doing, and not necessarily swatting flies and answering frivolous
Frivolous.
FOIA requests.
Right.
23 so far this year, so it's not an easy job, and I really don't see that changing, so I don't know, so anybody who wants to take it on, just be prepared to be immersed in the full world of FOIA.
Well, but I will say this though too, is that this is a shame, because this is what happens when you have good people in politics trying to just do good things, and that's why you don't have many good people, because some people are vicious and they run the good people out. All right? And all for, again, it was been pointed out, Mike pointed it out. This is the lowest tax on your whole bill. But we have a group of people here that just think that they just want to make life hell and put out misinformation and get everybody stirred up. And it is a shame because we are all real people here with real feelings, real life. And I am 100% for transparency. And speaking of that, oh, it's a clown show now. Okay, let me tell you this. When I was a trustee, 4 years I was a trustee. Do you know how many turnovers we had? How many reappointments? Any guesses?
A lot.
10. 10 people were appointed. 5 years I've been here now as supervisor. This is our first one. Okay? And what I'm saying is because it was chaos. And before me was the chaos.
Correct.
What they would do, somebody would resign. I wouldn't even know about it. I'd be sitting at the table, wouldn't even know about it. They'd resign, and 2 minutes later, they'd pick a family member or their friend or whatever, and they're sitting there. I was like, what is going on? Okay, that was chaos. That's what I stepped into. Okay, and it's not easy when you step into a mess. And that's what I've been trying to turn around. So Jim, I appreciate your service. I'm sorry you've had to deal with this. And I hope that these people out there that are listening will realize what you're doing to your community. And I am all for transparency. If you want anything, ask me. We'll get it to you. So anyway, consent agenda item. Oh, sorry, we got to vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess even if we vote no, it don't matter. But real quick, I do want to mention this. The way I would like to put this out there, if you think you would make a great clerk or whatever, feel free to email any of the trustees or myself, and we'll take a look at them. I have somebody that I think that would be absolutely amazing in mind. But if you guys have somebody, put them together, and we will vote at the next meeting. Okay? Yep. Okay? So I just want everybody to know that. That's how this board runs. Okay? Motion?
I begrudgingly motion to accept Jim's resignation.
Clint, you son of a...
Okay.
Mike second.
Okay, all right, roll call.
Crowell,
Yes.
Prosser. Ball.
No.
Can't vote no. Sewell.
Okay.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, consent agenda items A through E. I know this sounds trivial, but I wanted, just for the record, the assessor, he did not even submit a written report.
No, he didn't.
No, he did not. And I did see him yesterday, and I did ask him, and as you can tell from some of the comments before, he's doing everything he can to try to keep his office running, and he told me he would not have a report, and it's the first time in 5 years that has not happened.
And what I'm guessing is he's not probably done, this is a guess, not done the report, somebody in the office has
I
done the
think
report.
that's probably true,
Yeah.
yes.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And if he's not feeling good, okay, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
That's not, but anyway, so it's items A, C, D, and E.
Correct.
Okay?
I motion we accept the consent agenda. A through E.
Okay,
I second it.
okay, roll call.
Prosser? Yes. Ball?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yeah.
Crowell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. Okay, moving on to the approval of bills. Again, I'm not trying to stir stuff, but when misinformation is put out there, I think the board deserves to know so you don't have any questions. I'm gonna give you something. It was a post just yesterday, just to Mike. Hold on 1 second. And this here, and let's take, on top, this there, you're good. Take those two. It says, there's that. It says, holy crap, this is from an ex-trustee. Holy crap, that is a lot of expenses in 1 month, over $100,000. All right? So I went back, just so everybody knows. This is the amount of money that we spend on average every single month for the last 5 years. $100,000. This person sat on the board. This is not some big, okay, trying to stir people up. You gotta go look at this. This is, show up, $100,000. So I went back. This is when they were on the board. And you can see this month, $217,000 for the total town general. And if you look at that amount and the bank balances, I just want you guys to see this. We have more money now than we did in December of 2024. So, and because it went on saying we're out of money, we're spending more money, and that's not true. And I want people to know the facts. And it's not feelings, it's not trying to make any, but it's not helpful to this township. I am the CEO of the township. So if it's your business and somebody's mocking your business and saying things that aren't true, you take it personally. And so that's why I want to set the record straight. We're not spending any more than we were, and there's nothing, so let's go on to the bills.
All right, first of all, general assistance, we had expenditures for the month of $4,356.22.
Motion approved.
I'll second it.
Okay, if no questions, roll call.
Trustee Ball,
Yeah.
Sue,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Prosser,
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes?
Road and Bridge had expenditures for the month of $164,915.72.
You make a motion to accept those?
I'll second it.
Okay, if no questions, roll call.
Trustee Sue,
Yes.
Crowell,
Yes.
Prosser,
Yes.
Ball.
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes?
Town Fund had expenditures for the month of $103,561.70.
I motion we approve that.
I'll second it.
Okay, no questions, roll call.
Trustee Crowell,
Yes.
Prosser.
Yes.
Ball.
Yes.
Sewell.
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes.
And finally, the senior center had expenditures for the month of $9,503.25.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, no questions, roll call.
Trustee Prosser.
Yes.
Ball.
Yes.
Sewell.
Yeah.
Crowell.
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes, okay, we're getting there.
Thank you.
Here's Kathy with our highway commissioner and her report.
I just wanna let you know, we're in the process of, we sold our sweeper, they came and picked that up yesterday. Our new one should be in, I don't know, sometime by the 1st of April, somewhere around that area. If we need to use one, they'll lend us one to use in the time being. The sweeper, the trade-in value is $28,000, and we sold it for $55,000, so we made $27,000 more than the trade-in would have been. And then we also got approved for the $15,000 grant. We just found out about that too, so.
That's for the generator?
No, that's
Oh, sorry.
for the sweeper.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I knew there was another grant.
We applied for the generator through federal grant, but they denied it, so we're just finally able to, apply for those.
Just apply.
You gotta apply
Right.
to try to get it, right? And beyond that, trying to think anything else that's going on. We're just really busy, we've got a lot of concrete work to do out in Dieterding Hills. The area that we haven't yet paved, there's a lot of gutter work that needs to be done there. So we're gonna start working on that this summer. There was a couple areas I was gonna have paved last year that got put off because Maryville was running water lines. So hopefully we'll be able to pave those this year. So my budget, I've been working on it, but it might be a little bit more than it was last year, just with the fact that some of the stuff that was included in last year did not get done. So it's been pushed off to this year. I will not have my budget ready by Friday. I wanna have more, I want mine to be a little more, what I want it to be. So I plan on passing mine in May, or having it on the agenda to pass it in May. I did get appointed to the TOI board. My first meeting will be April 15th. And then it's a couple-day event, and when I do go for things for TY, they will pay for my rooms, and they will pay mileage to go up there too. So, anyway, I'm kind of excited. They're excited that I'm on the board. I'm excited about it too. So, hopefully good things to come with that. And beyond that, I can't think of anything. The only thing I do know is that when he was talking about the 2.5% of what you're spending was previously for the last 3 years. The only one of mine that does not have a limit on it, as far as my perm in general, is the equipment fund. They consider that more of a capital fund because they realize you can't always
Every year.
buy, I mean, the sweeper's $400,000, so that wasn't 1 year's worth of taxes, so I've been saving for that. So, so they look at that as more of a capital fund. But beyond that, I'm looking at, what I can do. There's a couple pieces of equipment we wanna get, we're waiting for bids on those, smaller equipment, but I still wanna be able to include them in the budget. Derek and I talked, the other day, and my budget the law will allow for me to pay 50% of my, salary through perm fund. So I will be taking on 50% of it, and then the town will cover the other 50%.
And I just want to thank Kathy in public for that, because I was telling her how tight mine is. And again, for people to understand, not to try to bore you, elected official salaries come out of a different budget fund. They come out of my side, so even my side would pay for Kathy's, but in the law, she can actually take 50% of her salary and put it into her side. And that's what she's doing, right, the perm side, but just for people to understand.
Right.
So she's doing that for the town side, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Beyond that, I don't really have anything else to say. We're just, like I said, extremely busy, have a lot going on. I don't know if they're ever gonna finish the Lebanon Road project, but when they get that done, we're talking about, the portion of the road going to where the construction started. We're going to try to get that overlaid. Now, we won't be going, won't be doing a, tear up of the road there. They'll just, mill it down so far, and then we'll try to put an overlay on that. So I don't know if that'll happen this year or if that'll happen next year, but I'm gonna plan for it, so.
Any calls today about the rain?
About the rain. No, not really.
No, out there on Lebanon.
Oh, I
Every
love
time
it.
they rain.
Yeah. But anyway, that's about all I've got.
Okay, thanks, Kathy. Assessors, trustees.
Just something real quick.
Yep.
I just want to let everybody know, I apologize for not being here last month. Had to have shoulder surgery, major surgery, the day before we had our meeting, so that's why I wasn't here. I'm back.
Glad you're back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not feeling great, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
I have a handout, and this will kind of help people understand what our township, how it's broke down. And you guys probably already know this.
Well, no, I wouldn't mind having one real quick.
Okay.
I don't know it.
You don't know it?
No, right. Actually, this is, Margot said she wanted to talk about this, and I said, I got a little thing actually from FOIA that I found, and it does make a lot of sense. So, because a lot of people don't understand how their government works, and this just lays it out here, the different duties under each office.
We had a lot of questions about, people wanted to know what were the duties of each.
Chain of command.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a real nice breakdown. Kind of show what everybody does.
Well, it's just the problem is people, we all have lives, and this is boring, you know what I'm saying? But so people get confused, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And Margot, if you don't mind, I can kind of help with this.
While I'm doing the show,
Just
explain it.
what it is, it just shows that the duties, and this gets confused sometimes, okay? And I was a trustee before I was supervisor, so I had to learn how the township codes and laws work. But each elected office holder is responsible for keeping their department fully functioning. The elected office holder is the employer and the sole authority over that position that they manage. So the township supervisor is the chairman of the elected township board. The elected trustees' main duty is to be auditors of the township bills. The elected board sets each elected leader's tax levy and budget. But really, that's basically where it stops with the trustees. There's very few things that we have say in what Kathy does or what Pete does in the assessor's office or what I do. But they can audit the bills and they can say, here's how much money we're going to allot you for the year. And that is the only authority that you have. And so it kind of goes back to your point, Mike, a little bit. It's hard if verbal doesn't work, if you tried everything and verbal doesn't work and he's not going to do it, the only authority that this board has is to say, you're only getting $383,000. And we told him this in June. And he had all that time to make that adjustment. He didn't make that adjustment, so he ran out of money. And when he ran out of money, the court said, you are not allowed to spend any more money. All right, the court said that, not this board. Then what happened, and a lot of people are still mad at me, that we met and we gave $25,000 from the senior center fund to pay for his employees. And I think the senior center fund should actually, my staff's mad at me for that, just so you know. And I'm like, guys, it's different. It's a budget. It's not, we can still do things. But my point is that senior center funds were used to pay for a month of his salaries. And yet, they're still bashing the senior center. I don't get it. And so this is the flow chart of how things work. Did I kind of explain that a little bit? And I thought it was excellent that Margot said that a lot of people just don't understand how it all works. There's 3 different departments, and I think it's important that people ask questions if you have questions and want to know the facts. And so I thank you for asking me for this and bringing this to us. So,
Sure.
yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, the garden, did you have something?
Yeah.
Thanks. So the community garden, so I just wanted to throw this out there, and again, some constituents had a question, because usually it's brought up to their attention what we're doing in regard to, I think, Keely, you run the Alt Collinsville or Alt Township page?
You're not supposed to talk directly to me.
I'm sorry.
I'll run the meeting. Just go.
So and you video us and then you make comments. So there were some people that made some comments and questions on what we do. And some of it was in regard to, did we have conversation with you before you stepped out and put some things out there for the public to view? And so I would be open for you to discuss any of this with me before you place it, if you don't understand. Before you put it online to the public. The community garden that we have went out and we did get some bids. We have a landscaper that's looking at it, and we're reaching out to the city for their input. We may have to remove some asphalt, and I did see some city workers working on landscape at the police station, at the city hall, et cetera. So Kathy, I was gonna ask you to, if we could get some input. I don't know if you guys can help in any way. We have to remove all of the asphalt, possibly.
Yeah.
That's been a recommendation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll have any time or anything on your budget, and in addition to that, any kind of help whatsoever with any of that.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean, you really don't wanna, you're removing all of it, you're breaking it all up and taking it out.
Well, we've had a couple different opinions on it.
Right,
so.
and I've been in touch with Derek at the city and getting the permits, and I got the letter of recommendation for it, everything for the county to put up there. And so what we were kind of thinking right now, and again, this is just preliminary, I'm getting the money, then we can decide. But to take out about 2/3 of it, leave the back end of it, some of the gardeners had said that if you leave the asphalt and you do the raised beds, that asphalt underneath, things just don't grow as good, right? And so I'm trying to figure out how much money that's gonna cost, and possibly we get it going. It's not fully as good as we want year one, and year two, we can come back and finish it, you know, but don't lose out on that money.
So one thing, dealing with this, if the asphalt has to come out, they're gonna wanna take soil samples
I was
because.
just gonna ask that
Yep,
question.
so they will because, legally, because of the EPA.
Yeah.
The problem we may have, because that being a body shop over there, we don't know, and of course, all the cars been in oil, so that's just something we do need to think about. I mean, we've had some
We've talked about
discussion,
that.
and so that's why we were trying to leave the asphalt there, and maybe put
Gotcha.
green. Yeah.
I say AstroTurf or
Like an
something,
asphalt
right?
turf or something like that. I think we could cause a lot of problems, and once the asphalt's up, I mean, right now, it's what it comes, it's sealed, is what they're saying. But once we pull that asphalt up, we could run into
Right.
a more of a problem, just something to think about.
Right, I will. Yeah, we'll have to do that, and
What
then,
about, rather than taking all the asphalt out, you talked about boxes, just make them deeper.
I mean, yeah, so
That's,
There's options.
right.
You wanna sit on the committee?
Well, let me just say this though too, because it sounds like, and I don't want to add
Where are the
more,
meetings?
but I did, you know, mention this to Derek, and just full transparency for the board. You know, after we're gone or whatever, I don't want to see that looking like crap over there, right?
Yeah.
And if we saw what happened last summer, you know, so my point is, I mentioned to Derek possibly giving that or trading it with the city and having their Parks Department, after we get it all going, then having the Collinsville Parks Department actually take it over, okay? Maintain it, and, I mean, I guess they could all own it. Again, we are all in this together, it's all of our money, and so if the township helps get the money and get it going, then give it to their Parks Department, and it's off our hands, no more liability, no more trucks sitting over there, I'm good with it. So I just wanted you guys to know that I'm kind of talking to him about that to see if that's something that he would, because that would, I mean, there's a cost to that, you know, so, anyway, I don't want to see it going to crap after a few years, you know.
You have talked to them about the water.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, there's water and there's, yeah, you would have some meat, so, anyway.
So the community garden, we've been working on it for
Yep.
over 9 months.
Mhm.
We've been discussing it, we've met with many people,
You have done a lot.
university extension. Yeah, we've really looked at how to do this. And so that is going to be another, you know, basically it's general assistance. Is we will be doing a community garden. It would be great for it to evolve into maybe the seniors working with maybe some
Oh, I
young
guarantee
people
it,
to get
they're going
involved.
to enjoy it, right.
Yeah, so that'll be a great thing, and then, yeah, so there's just, it's just an addition to everything that we have.
I
Our
appreciate all the
senior
work
center,
you've done on
yeah.
this, so, and we'll have a lot more on that.
Yeah, so,
mhm.
I'll go now.
Yep,
Just one call out. It kind of bothers me a little bit, but, early in the evening, you said you're looking forward to work with Pete.
yeah,
Yep. So, but you've taken about 10 shots at him tonight during this meeting. You know, that's not an honest representation of trying to work with Pete. The litigation's been settled. We need to start to move forward and really try and improve that whole situation. So, that's all I got tonight.
I
okay.
think that is probably, you brought those up just to
I'm
show
sitting
an
there.
ongoing.
The only thing he hasn't done is say hi to Chuck tonight for, being here since he ran for assessor. So let me do that. Hey, Chuck,
that
thanks for
he's
showing.
that he's here every night. But yeah, I mean, and I get what you're doing. I mean, I get that you're saying, I'm trying to work and we're not getting a response. So we're
Yeah.
gonna try to work and
Being
hopefully.
antagonistic,
Yeah.
no,
Well, hopefully he'll-
antagonistic's not trying to work, okay? Let's just really be honest about this,
Oh, well,
okay?
and hopefully he'll be willing to work with us for a future board too, and, he'll be able to come in and maybe work with us. That would be wonderful.
All right, we will,
Well, I have one.
oh, yes, yeah, I'm going to, well, I had the,
Oh, senior center, go
yeah.
ahead.
I'll take the senior center, free tax preparation, for seniors, it's actually a great service. Gotta get an appointment, come on in. There's early voting still going on, and voting day is on Tuesday. Make sure you vote. We've seen some new faces. and we've lost some people, and that's one of the hardest things about this, any senior center, is that you lose some friends, and it's like, imagine if you owned a business and you're constantly never gonna see that person again. You have to get new faces in. So people wonder, why in the world is he advertising? Why is he doing anything? Because if you don't, there won't be anything here. This is a great service, and there is nothing that, the only reason I continue to do this is that this place makes an impact on many people's lives, and you don't understand it until you're here. You can mock it, you can whatever you want, but it doesn't bother me because I know what the truth is. And this is a great place, and I want to invite anybody to come in and check it out. Great lunches Monday through Friday, breakfast on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're actually having a CSC meeting. That ought to be fun. So we allow the seniors, oh yeah, we allow the seniors, and we have a little, just a meeting. And, you know, so, and we talk about everything. I'll put a secret poll out there with what they like, what they don't like, and we'll go through it. So we do that about twice a year. Yeah, they're gonna have a St. Patty's Day party.
When is that?
God, don't quote me on it. I think it's next
Because St. Patty's Day is like.
year. I'm not exactly sure. So,
Because that corned beef.
Probably on.
yeah, they do corned beef. Yeah, here on, it probably is
It is
Tuesday.
good.
Yeah, it's probably Tuesday.
I came in and talked to, your girl,
Mhm.
the gals that work
Yeah.
here. And I was just so impressed, like, Gabby literally got teary-eyed when she was talking about the wellness checks and the people and how, you know, we talk about our tax dollars and we talk about, how is that affecting our tax dollars? This is how it affects. Gabby said that they're happy, they're healthy, we can check on them. It saves the Medicare dollars with happy, healthy seniors. There's also box lunches that go out here and free lunches.
Yeah. I mean, if you sign up, if you're low income or whatnot, we give a lot of lunches away
So
on
that's
a
our
daily
general
basis. Yeah, but
assistance
that's
as well.
right, absolutely. So, anyway, but yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff. We help people with phones. We have a day we help people with phones. And I can go on, but I'm proud of the place, but we could always do better. And so that's it. Clerk.
I just wanted to add the one thing I forgot to put in my report is I have now on the website placed all the resolutions that we passed back in 2022. And one of the suggestions that has come to my attention is that we should possibly consider placing the board packet on the website every month. That's pretty common for a lot of elected, cities and other governments. So if you guys are okay with that, we'll start doing that. The only thing obviously we can't put on there if we have a closed session on there, any kind of minutes. But I don't wanna do it if you guys aren't okay with it. But the more stuff we put on the website, the less
Right.
requests
Well.
we potentially would get.
Okay, I'll just make mine very brief. Just like piggybacking off of Jim, again, I am all for openness. I want everybody to know everything. And I can guarantee you will not go to any other meeting and have this kind of open. You go to another meeting, you can make a comment and you ain't gonna hear no answer. We sit here and we wanna answer your questions. We are open. You can meet me, you can meet any of these trustees, you can ask them any questions. So if you see something crazy online that seems like, wow, maybe ask us first before you bite.
Please.
Okay, because it's not good for our community, and it is hard right now. The whole country is suffering from this. We're all supposed to be this together because it's just tearing us all apart. And so we gotta stop doing this, and it's social media, and it's bigger than just this township. But I am asking the people in the community, please, give us a chance. Can we? I'm wearing a white shirt, I'm wearing a white flag, okay? So that's what I'd like. For the next 3 years, and I'll talk about this at the thing, I'm just all about trying to make sure that we're doing the best we can for the taxpayers. That is my goal. So, anyway, if nothing else, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. Okay.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.